Hello, 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 hello. Yes, and it's TIP Annual Conference 2022. Who is excited? Who is excited? If you're here, let me see you. We are live already. TIP Annual Conference 2022. And it is the parenting advantage. We're here again for the fifth. Number 5. I can see 39 people already waiting, streaming live. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see you guys. I see the moderators. I see the members of the academy. I see the world. I see you guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Right. I'm going to just share with you a bit about the academy. We were supposed to play you a documentary this morning that we're still going to play you before this session runs out. Our speaker will soon be here. And, one of the things that I love about the TIP Annual Conference is that the TIP Annual Conference changes everything that you can think about. 1 minute. There's a video that Joy was supposed to that Joy's video. There's a separate video for Joy. So did you do it? That's what we're supposed to play now. Shit. Alrighty, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you and thank you. And this year's conference has been themed the parenting advantage. The parenting advantage. Let me see you in the comment section. Make comments. Let me see you. Send a chat in the comment section, your favorite emojis, and type the parenting advantage. Let's make some noise. It's TIP Annual Conference 2022. You are welcome. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm your favorite parenting coach. Yes, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Yes. We are having this live session right now with the amazing Olakunle. Before we even go ahead and introduce Olakunle, the TIP Annual Conference started because we saw a need. We saw a need that parenting was something that we needed to begin to work towards. We needed to become intentional about. Parenting was a big deal to us. And 5 years ago, we started the Intentional Parent Annual Conference, and that conference had just 3 people stream live on it. And it was so life transforming, so life transforming that we thought that is something that we need to continually, all right, work towards and make sure that we bring you an amazing program. And since that time, 2018, we have continually done this consistently. In 2019, we also brought you, in 2019, we brought you, amazing conference, and with about 20 coaches. In 2021, we brought you amazing conference with much more. We brought you conference with about 28 coaches. And in 2020, we did 30 coaches. It is 2022. We have for you 32 coaches from all over the world. You don't want to miss an opportunity to actually be in a program like this. Most of our facilitators, bringing them up here will cost an arm and a leg, if there's anything like that, yeah? All right, but we've gone above and beyond. I do not like to say that a TIP Annual Conference is free. I hate to say it, because if I say that, it means that the people who have already paid for this conference, I will be telling them that what they've done is null and void. People have paid for this. No, it is not free. It is just coming free to you. We have paid a price to be here today. There's a price that we have paid. And I want you to pay attention and ensure that you do not take this opportunity for granted. We have brought you the best of the best from all over the world. Trust me, you cannot remain the same after being here. A price has been paid. Just take it that somebody bought a ticket for you, going somewhere, and the person gave you that ticket, all right? That you should just, go to the place, and the ticket has been bought and paid for. Of course, you know that for you to go to that place, you didn't get there free. That's how this conference is. The academy has paid the price. My team has toiled day and night. We have all put a lot together. Friends, family, currencies built on relationships, all sorts. We are here today, and as I speak to you, there is work going on at the backstage at the TIP conference. Some of my team members haven't slept in 24 hours. I am saying this so that you will understand how much work has gone in. Don't ever think that this conference is free. I just want you to understand that somebody has paid the price for you to be here. Thank you so much again for honoring us with your presence. I really do appreciate that you are here. All right. Thank you so much, because we do not take your time for granted. Remember that one of the fees that would like you to pay, all right? One of the fees that would like you to pay is for you to rave over our speakers. We need you to be on your social media, all right? To be on your social media, raving over our speakers, tagging us, the Intentional Parent, on Instagram, on your Facebook spaces. That's the price we are asking you to pay. The price of getting your friends and your family to be in this system with us, to understand that parenting is a game changer today. This morning, I started my day very early in the morning with a host of my team and friends, and we went out to what we call the bunks. And I'm sure that by the time David Farami, who was also part of the team, who is going to be speaking at the TIP annual conference, comes up to speak about his session, he's going to share a bit about it. What I saw gave me another confidence, another strength that we need to do this and do it like our life is dependent on it. The breakdown of the family system is one of the greatest challenges that we have with young people today. We need to pay attention, dear parents. We need you to pay attention. Please do not take this for granted. We're going to be sharing with you a few of the things that we do in the academy while we wait for our speaker to be up here, who is going to come up here in a few minutes from now. All right. Oh, PK, you don't want to miss listening to PK. You want to get your family and your friends to be at this session. PK is going to be live in a few minutes. And before that, we want you to see the work that we have done so far in the academy, with the parents, and some of the conversations that we have been able to, put out there, the narratives. Part of the things that we say in TIP Academy is that part of what we are called to do is to change the narrative of the family system. And that's what we've been doing with the academy system. And we've had some parents come up to share with you in real terms, not the things we're saying, about the academy and how the academy has transformed their lives. So I'm going to be playing you a video before we play you, a documentary at the end of the session to see our journey about what I have done and the things that, the TIP as a team, the academy has done over the years. Thank you again for joining me. I remain your favorite parenting coach, Wendy Ologe.
Hello, my name is Chinwema Essien. I'm a wife, a mother of 3 adorable children. I'm also a professional nurse practicing in the UK and a member of the Inner Circle. I joined the Inner Circle in December 2021, that was last year, Well, I followed the Intentional Parents Academy on Facebook for some years now, but I had always wanted to be in the inner circle just because, yes, that's the powerhouse of the academy. So, come December, it didn't look like the right time to be in the inner circle because a lot was going on in my life. I had a sick son who ended up having a surgery. I had a husband whose business was going through challenges, and that was affecting him and putting a strain on our marriage. But I kept on, hung up in that group and continued to feed my mind with all that is being taught there. And trust me, it transformed me as a person. It helped me, equip me with the skills and the knowledge that I needed to navigate the trying times of my life. It's affected every area of my life, my children, my marriage. Everything we're taught in the inner circle just has a way of transforming you as a person, and then the ripple effect of transforming others around you. And trust me, it's been an awesome experience that I cannot look back. I don't have any regrets. And I speak to you out there today as a parent. If you're still asking, oh, what is it about the inner circle? The inner circle is the expectation. Coach Wendy is the expectation. You join it, and then you can speak for yourselves, because no matter how little you try to practice what is taught in that inner circle, it brings about phenomenal transformation, trust me. Things that you don't expect, things that you don't know. It has helped me to be able to read more than I do before. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that was a review from the academy. You have one more, and then we will bring you the speaker's profile.
Hello out there. My name is Abidemi, and my wife here, Lola. We're just here to talk about the Intentional Parenting Inner Circle Academy or Club. Actually, when the Inner Circle first started, it was my wife actually, and she had been joining for a while. Women now. What's this new style that this woman has brought to the house again? Let me just be looking at what's going on. But through the days, through the months, what she has been learning, bringing it to the forefront, and how she has been parenting with the kids. Most of the time, when our kids do some very things that will almost drive you nuts, and you want to, and the woman says, no, don't spank, do this, do that, and I was like, what kind of new style is this one? That kind of thing. And I noticed one thing, especially my daughter. There's a way my daughter reacts to my wife when it comes to some certain things. Like the way she calmly speaks to my wife calmly speaks to her. She responds very positively. And then that is where I noticed that you can get things done without spanking. You can get things done without beating. You can get things done without that kind of severe discipline that we were used to when we were young kids. And when I saw those changes, and I decided that I think there is a better way. I'm not a father that likes to beat in the first place anyway. But when I tend to see those changes, I decided that I think this is the best place to be, and this is the kind of these are the kind of principles I want to adopt. So if you're a parent out there, no matter who you are, the Inner Circle Academy Club is the best place to be. You get to learn a lot of things on how to intentionally parent with your child. You learn curriculums, you learn principles, you learn strategies, you learn skills. And skills, as we know, skills don't follow you. Skills are learned, skills are acquired. And the Parenting Academy is the most wonderful place to acquire and learn those skills. So let me not blab too much. Let me allow my wife to contribute to.
As my husband has said, TIP Inner Circle, if you're a parent out there and you want to learn to parent with structure, parent with calm, be more intentional in your journey as a parent, because parenting is a learned skill, and the TIP Inner Circle is the place to learn these skills. So join us in the Inner Circle, or join us in the yard, as you say. I want to say thank you to Coach Wendy and the wonderful TIP team for the great work that they are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
And that was Mr. and Mrs. Okowa from the TIP Inner Circle. Thank you so much from being there. When it's coming from a Nigerian father, then it's working. Thank you, Victoria. Yes, it's working. And as you're streaming, you're going to see the links, right? If you want to book a slot, join the inner circle, be part of it, and continue to be there. While we wait for our speaker to come on live, all right, here our speaker is having a bit of a challenge logging in, and we're waiting for him to be here before we can read his profile for you. Our speaker's profile will come up, as soon as possible. And of course, this conversation will take, on and in full-fledged. I just want to tell you a bit about the parenting advantage. The parenting advantage is what will make your child. We're all products of where we're coming from. We're all products of who raised us. We're all products of what the people that know, the people that raised us know. They are not the same thing. All right? You are a function of everything, experiences. You are a function of programming. Now, the program you have is what you are going to give back. The question will be, what will be your program for your child? Now, your program is what you are showing. See, no matter what it is or how you were raised, everything about you, all right, is about how you were raised. And it's also a function of the people who raised you, what they knew. Now, that will be either an advantage or a disadvantage. I was sharing a story one of those days, and I was saying how writers like Flora Mwapa encouraged young girls like me. It made me realize that I can actually become seeing young African women doing amazing things. I read everything Flora Mwapa, the likes of Buchie Mecheta wrote in their times. And it was a great motivation. Now, I saw myself being able to write to the world, just reading those pieces. Today, I have written books that have transformed my world, generations, nations, in hundreds of thousands of them. Now, this is that young girl who dreamt just because there was a Buchie Mecheta who moved before her, just because there was a Flora Wampa who wrote to the world. And this girl believed that she could. Now, what was the advantage? I was raised by parents who believed in books. So every nook and cranny of my house was full of books. We had library. My father believed that a home without a library is a dead home. His very first home was built with a specified library in the system. Now, one of the things that I picked up from that conversation, from that whole experience, was that if I didn't come in contact with those books, I wouldn't have read them and I wouldn't have been motivated. I picked them around from the house because there was something in the house, all right? There was a motivation. There was something a parent was doing that helped me. My parents being very focused in the kind of things that were around their home was a parenting advantage for me and my siblings. Today, we're all right because they opened us to the world of writing. My mom, I remember those days, will go to the market and she will come back with a book. That was the market, bring back market gift that she had. I remember that newspapers came to my house almost on a daily basis, even though my parents were not wealthy. They were just intentional about that aspect of their parenting. The parenting advantage is that thing you give your child that just because you were their parent. The question will be, what will be the advantage your child will have just because you parented them? I think this is the question that we all need to begin to answer right now. Even before we get into full-fledged session, before we even start this whole conversation, you need to begin to ask yourself, what will be my parenting advantage over raising my child, over the other child who I didn't raise? And this will only be a function of what you know. The question will be, what do you know? The TIP annual conference is posed to actually help you know. Because I believe that knowledge is a prerequisite for raising anybody in the 21st century. How much knowledge do you have? Remember that when I started, I said that we're a function of the things that we know. Who raised us and what the people who raised us know. Your children will blame you tomorrow for what you didn't learn. Our job is to actually parent from a place of knowledge. What knowledge will you be parenting from? Is it the knowledge that you've always had? The one that you said, oh, that's how they raised us, and we turned out okay? Or is it the knowledge that you're going to reacquire that is actually going to be able to understand the times? I like the way that the scripture says it. It says that the sons of Issachar understood the times. Was the knowledge in the past bad? No. Is it relevant in our times? These are the questions that we're answering. And these are the conversations that we are having. Your job is to parent your child from a place of knowledge. What knowledge would you have? At the end of this conference, it will be so easy for us to come here, make a whole lot of noise, be here, but at the same time, it's actually beyond just acquiring the knowledge. It is about implementing whatever it is that we have learned. And there's then another, part of this conversation. Another part of this conversation is, do you have a system that will help you to be able to deliver on this knowledge that you are going to acquire? Is that system that will make all of the difference? And is that system that are going to help you to begin to actually deliver on the knowledge that you're acquiring? You're here today, 388 persons and counting, and I'm sure that by the time this live stream starts in a few minutes, we're going to have even more people flooding and stream. But what system is going to hold you accountable to be able to deliver on the things that you're going to learn? There is no change that will come by just because you learned. The only way change will come is because you have implemented. As you listen to all of these sessions, I would like you to think of an implementation process. What implementation process are you going to have? So don't stop at being here. I want you to be able to look at your system and ask yourself, the knowledge I'm going to acquire, would there be a system that will help me deliver on it? If there is no system, I beg of you, you need to start now to actually begin that system and begin to look for how that system would pay you. How will you create it? How will you put that system in perspective? Create it from now. Please do not take it for granted. I need you as I'm slowly talking to you. All right? I need you as I'm slowly speaking to you for you to actually assimilate the things that I'm speaking. I need you to think about it so that as the speaker comes, you are actually assimilating the knowledge from the place of, how do I implement this? Who will hold me accountable for the implementation of this system? What will I do with this knowledge I'm going to acquire? Because whether you're going to acquire knowledge, trust me, you will acquire knowledge that will blow your mind. Starting from this morning, there is no gainsaying on it. You will hear the things that you have never heard in your life before. But the question will be, what will you do with what you hear? What you hear is not enough. What you do with what you hear is actually what matters. Ask yourself this question. What will I do with what I hear? How will I create a system that structures me to holding me accountable to deliver on the things that I hear? This is one of the reasons why we run the Inner Circle program. We run it so that we will be able to hold you accountable to the things that you learn and the things that you hear. And then move from hearing and move to delivering. You need to now deliver on it. It is the knowledge you use that actually makes sense. The knowledge you accumulate makes no meaning. I say usually, the Holy Book said that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I say that people will still perish for lack of implementation of that knowledge. So if you do not implement that knowledge that you are supposed to have, if you do not implement that knowledge that you are acquiring, you will perish like that person who doesn't have knowledge. What will you do with that knowledge? These are the things that you need to think about before our speaker comes to give you all of the fire. As you're acquiring it, what will you do? It is the knowledge that you use that makes sense. Implementation is what matters. And as you hear 32 coaches, I'm not going to lie to you, you're going to get overwhelmed because what you're going to be hearing might scare you, might put in fear, and might get you even to panic. But a system that puts you through delivering is what we create for you, and that's why we are here. And you need to understand that implementation is not about fearful parenting. So what we're going to be sharing with you in all of this session is not fear, but caution. Caution. There is no power in knowledge until you have applied it. How much of this knowledge are you going to be applying? That will be the question. How much of this system are you going to look at and say, I need to do something with the things that I'm hearing? If you stream life here and you waste your data, and if you don't implement, you would have wasted your data. The only time where it will be valuable for you and your data, it will make sense, everything makes sense, is exactly when you have actually applied the things that you have learned. Parenting from a place of knowledge and implementation. The results that we have so far in the academy comes from implementation, not from acquiring knowledge. If it's all about acquiring knowledge, then of course, we are not going to see any result from our end, from anywhere, and what we will be doing will be null and void. Remember at the beginning, I told you that this session has already been paid for you to access it free. The only reason why you are accessing it free is because somebody, somewhere has paid for you. And if that makes any sense to you, I admonish you to make use of it, so that you also do not take our money and ruin it and take it to waste. Because we spent money, we spent time, we spent energy, we spent human resources, we spent. Anything you can think about, spend it. It's only valuable if you make use of it. it becomes invaluable if you cannot use it. So using the knowledge you acquire starting from this morning, see how we're taking our time to talk to you, will be a game changer for you. If not, you're going to be like every other person. You just say, oh, rave over us. Oh, wow, they said some nice things and that will be it. And then we would continue on the same back and forth and the same process. So do not sit in a place where you just shout, oh, I'm overwhelmed, and all of that. Please be in a place where you ask yourself, what do I do with the knowledge I'm acquiring? Olakunle, just informed us that it's going to be here in few minutes. They are trying to make sure that their systems are all put together and it's streaming live this morning. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. All right. We're going to also be taking questions at the end of every session. All right. Today's session, we are having the amazing Olakunle, and then we are also going to be having, Celia Kibla. Celia Kibla will be speaking from the US. And we will also be having Uncle Ben. If you're part of this academy, you would have heard Uncle Ben severally. You would have heard Celia as well. And we'll be having Louisa Acasio. All right. While we wait for our speaker to be here, all right, we will play you again some of those review videos and have you also get and begin to make your decisions to be part of the Inner Circle program.
Hello, my name is Chinwema Essien. I'm a wife, a mother of 3 adorable children. I'm also a professional nurse practicing in the UK and a member of the Inner Circle. I joined the Inner Circle in December 2021. That was last year. I've followed the Intentional Parents Academy on Facebook for some years now, but I had always wanted to be in the Inner Circle just because, yes, that's the powerhouse of the academy. So come December, it didn't look like the right time to be in the Inner Circle because a lot was going on in my life. I had a sick son who ended up having a surgery. I had a husband whose business was going through challenges, and that was affecting him and putting a strain on our marriage. But I kept on, hung up in that group and continued to feed my mind with all that is being taught there. And trust me, it transformed me as a person. It helped me, equip me with the skills and the knowledge that I needed to navigate the trying times of my life. It's affected every area of my life, my children, my marriage. Everything we're taught in the Inner Circle just has a way of transforming you as a person, and then the ripple effect of transforming others around you. And trust me, it's been an awesome experience that I cannot look back. I don't have any regrets. And I speak to you out there today as a parent. If you're still asking, what is it about the Inner Circle? The Inner Circle is the expectation. Coach Wendy is the expectation. You join it, and then you can speak for yourselves, because no matter how little you try to practice what is taught in that Inner Circle, it brings about phenomenal transformation, trust me. Things that you don't expect, things that you don't know. It has helped me to be able to read more than I do before. Thank you.
All right, and we have the amazing PK in the house, and we're going to be here. I'm already on the floor with my book, my pen, my paper. I'm so excited. PK is here. Let's make some noise. All right, I'm going to play PK's profile, and we're going to just get into it. We apologize. PK wasn't able to be here at 9 a.m. We apologize, with you. So thank you so much for your patience. But the next thing you're going to see on my stream is PK's profile. Please, let's get on it.
For over 2 decades, Olakunle Sorinyo has been birthing newness and next level globally, creating 5 usable, transferable, and highly rewarding experiences for leaders, high net worth individuals, and impact makers everywhere. They are 1. Helping visionaries become influencers and helping influence become visionaries. 2. Helping leaders see the future of the world, of ideas, products, services, industries, and markets, and supporting them to take their stake in it. 3. Helping individuals and families find their personal meaning and purpose, maximize their humanity, and live out the best version of themselves. 4. Helping high achievers pivot or disrupt their highest accomplishments and birthing their necessary next level of relevance and power. 5. Helping thought leaders find their voice and spread their message to the exact people and places designed for it anywhere in the world. Olakunle Sorinyo is the Chief Knowledge Officer and Lead Strategist at Kenneth Sorinyo Research and Ideas LCC. He is also the founder of Etria Africa, a US 501c3 exempt nonprofit, mobilizing and empowering 1% of the African population and people of African descent everywhere to function beyond welfare economics, equipped to take responsibility for the socio-economic and political destiny to the continent. He also serves the CEO of Africa House, a platform linking investors with entrepreneurs and innovators of African descent. PK's skills have served arms of government and many organizations in different parts of the world, including Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Total, Shell, and many more. PK also serves on the board of several for-profit and non-profit organizations. The Rukas, as it is called by industry colleagues and stakeholders, wears many hats as a futurist, iconoclast, global thought leader and global influence curator, culture shaper, philanthropist and social impact investor, advisor to many high-impact individuals in the world, mentor and spiritual guide to thousands across the globe. His life mission is to impact 80 million global action figures, shaping culture and making the world a positive and better place in business, government, media, entertainment, family, education, and faith by 2050. Gentlemen, please make welcome to the Intentional Parent Annual Conference 2022, Olakunle Sorinyo.
Hi.
Hello, BK. Welcome, sir. We're excited to have you this morning.
Same here. Same here. I'm excited, Wendy. I am.
Thank you
I'm.
so much, sir.
I apologize for showing up late. Really sorry. I just had so much to deal with this morning, and just so much all through yesterday, today, a lot. But I'm good. So yeah.
Thank you.
Should I
Thank
go
you
on?
so much. Yes, thank you so much for coming in. Please, ladies and gentlemen, PK is here. And you know what I tell you about the Kool-Aids? You know, I'm married to a Kool-Aid. A Kool-Aid appears and
Oh,
everything changes. So, yes, you have a Kool-Aid in the house. PK, we are honored to have you, sir. Go ahead, please. I'm going to be off the stream. I'm going to be with my pen and the paper writing in the background. Welcome, sir.
thank you, Wendy. Do have a beautiful one. Yeah. So the conversation is quite direct. One of the most pressing ideas facing mankind today. I am not going to teach, I'm just going to have a simple, clear conversation. And I do hope that it will be enough to not satisfy everyone here or even anyone, but spark a new type of commitment that can encourage each one and even empower each one to take responsibility for the parenting education they must have to be able to offer guidance and direction to the children they love so dear, right? So I what I'm going to say is not anything new. Some of the things I've said for years. At times, it's just very difficult to go beyond a particular type of conversation because you know that that is the foundation and the basic understanding people need to have, such that if they have that, it becomes like a prerequisite to all that they can still have, and also become like an impetus to be able to drive themselves to own some other, knowledge, in that area that pretty much, give them the confidence and the boldness and insight to be able to navigate, their own dynasty with their children, right? That is the kind of conversation I'm going to have. So a few years ago, myself and my team and a few colleagues went out of our way to really begin to ask questions about parenting. And I'm not talking about 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm talking about as early as 2000 2006, 2007, right? And we interviewed thousands of parents across the world and across the continent, right, of Africa. And we gathered all kinds of data, usable data. It was a research that transcended, parenting, but parenting was a critical part of it, right? And we came to quite a number of conclusions, quite a number of truths that are usable, transferable for the future. I mean, that particular study helped me as a person to understand the type of insight that I need to begin to share, because what it did was threw us to the future and it helped us to get feedback from the future. And we began to position for that and began to speak to that, right, all the way from 2015, 2006, 2007, 2008, right? So, and we expanded that research. It was not just for a few months. It went on for about, if I remember, about 4 years, and spending thousands and thousands of dollars, right? So today is easy because we now see a lot of the things we saw back then. We see them playing out now. And as a futurist, I've had the privilege of sitting in rooms, having conversations about the most pressing issues of our time, the most pressing challenges of our time, and how best to respond to them. But most critically, the most pressing challenges ahead of the humankind, of mankind, and how to respond to that today, right? That would be the type of ideas we're going to be sharing. when we speak about parenting for the future, what is the future? That's the first thing we need to be clear about. The future is 30, right? 30. In the next 30 years, everyone breathing that is alive on this day, everyone alive on this day that I speak to you will be either a full-blown adult in 30 years, or will be so full-blown, it will be at the departure lounge of life, ready to take the flight out of the world, or will have taken the flight. It's simple math. Add 30 years to anybody breathing today. I think the youngest person in the world today will be like age 1. Let's just assume between age 0 and age 1. Maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months, or maybe 1, right? If you add 30 years to age 0, is 30 years old. Even if the person is age 0, the person will be 30 years old in 30 years' time. If the person is 1, then the person will be 31 in 30 years' time. If the person is 10 years old, like your son or your daughter today, in 30 years, he or she will be 40. 40, man. Can you believe that? If the person is 15, it will be 45 in 30 years. If he's 20, it will be 50 in 30 years. Everyone is a full-blown adult in 30 years. Or they will be dead, or they'll be about to die. It's just a reality, including yours truly speaking to you, right? Everyone, no one is spared. If you are 30, you'll be 60. If you are 40 today, you'll be 70. If you are 50 today, you'll be 80. If you are 60, you'll be 90. If you are 70, you'll be 100. How many 100 years old people do you know walking the street or who are even alive? So most likely we will be dead. Most likely we will be gone. And I say that, with all sense of empathy, with all sense of responsibility. It's not to torture anyone. It's just the reality. Now, if death is sure, what kind of persons ought we to be within the block of exchange that we are having? There is a sense of urgency, a sense of thoroughness. There is a sense of mission, that we have to bring into how we interpret our reality, how we define it, the kind of choices we are making today, because we don't have the luxury of time, right? Nobody is even permitted, because of the speed that technocracy has brought to us by the advent of COVID and post-COVID realities. Nobody can think short-term anymore. You really can't think like, 5-year goals and all those kind of ways we used to think before. Now, almost every year is connected in details. And so there's no point looking at 3 years from now. You can as well look at 10 years from now. It's easier because everything is emerging, everything is developing, right? Everything is coming on the scene right now. So people usually read about this type of time. These are the type of times that you only read about. Imagine where the world was when they were ending the Second World War or the First World War. Imagine the people of that time. That's like where we are. Imagine where we were when the computer was coming into the world. That's like where we were, and the typewriter was living, right? Imagine when GSM technology was coming into the world, when emails, when the internet was coming into the world. That's like where we are. We are in the midst of a major change in the human experience, in the human condition. It's so critical that we see that imperative and zero into it. These are not ordinary times. This is the cross between cause and effect. This is an interregnum as far as I'm concerned, right? And we need to stay there with strength and power, but the strength of dominance is clarity. The proof of clarity is action and momentum, right? You need to know. You don't hope that you know. You need to know that you know. There's no rewind button. You are not going to mess up your life and say, oh, I've messed it up, let me press rewind and start all over again. No. The cost of indecisiveness or wrong decisions are so weighty in these times that people will pay, very tough price for any form of unguardedness in these times. And I'm not trying to scare anyone. It's just the reality. Opportunities are shrunk like never before. There's no economy in the world today that is really experiencing some, great, break in their economy, or some prices are going high everywhere. Standard of living is going high everywhere. Cost of living is going low. Cost of living is going high everywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's the United States or Lagos or Accra or Gambia or Conakry or Johannesburg. It really doesn't matter, right? The whole world is facing complexities that the media is even helping us to minimize. If you understand the full weight of what is going on, people will be more definite, people will be more humble, people will be more uh, concerned, really. Just because you don't know the weight of what is against you, it gives you a reckless abandonment in the presence, because essentially you are not aware of what is against you. It's like a lion is coming from the balcony and you are not aware. You'll be sipping gin and juice, but something's going to tear you apart in a few minutes because you're not aware of the threat that is coming. So, but the good news again is that when complexities are intensified, it is a greater and greater demand on knowledge. So to knowledge we must turn. And when I say knowledge, I don't mean mental access to things. I'm not talking about the test of recall. I'm not just saying being able to read something. I'm saying being present enough to read, yes, but most importantly, to gain clarity about what you are reading. Because you can know and do nothing, but you can't be clear and not take action. You see, a lot of people have knowledge, but you don't have clarity about the knowledge they have. The proof of clarity is action. The proof of clarity is movement, is momentum, right? So you need to understand that. And, part of that is to at least be able to understand the contents of what is ahead. That will hopefully have some impact in governing your thinking and your behavior today and your decisions today. So you have the reality of a future that is numbered on 30. And everyone you know in the world, think about it. Some young people came to me to say, oh, they need to protest, they need to do something, they need to raise their voice, they need to, and I told them, listen, you don't need to agitate or lead a protest now. What you need now is mental weaponry. You need a call to mental strength, right? You need more of a thought revolution than a violent physical revolution. And part of that is positioning. You don't just run around. You need to position for what is coming, because what is coming will come. It is who you are, how prepared you are, how you hear, how you see, how you interpret, how you act, how you judge, how you mobilize that will make the difference. But what is coming will surely come. And once you understand that, you have no control over what is on the horizon. You have no control over what is coming. You can, however, control your stake in what is coming. You can control your position in what is coming. And as we move into the future, you're going to find some basic experiences in the human experience. One of them is that in most countries and in most society, you will see the ebbing away of the middle class. You will find that the middle class will fade and become non-existent in so many countries, right? Particularly third world countries. And then you are going to find that, the opportunities will shrink seriously. And then the intensity for positive outcomes, the desperation goes high. Energies like envy, disloyalty, crime, there just be a lot of pressure. These things are sure to happen. You can wish them away, you can pray them away. For many reasons I understand, they are sure backers. This is going to happen. It's going to put pressure on families, it's going to put pressure on people. Part of what you must understand about pressure is that pressure will introduce you to you. Depending on how you have managed yourself before the arrival of pressure, pressure will introduce you to your worst self, right? Because even in good people, a lot of what is good in them is preserved by the weak pressure around them, such that if pressurized at a higher level, you'll be stunned at what a good person will do. Because even in good people, the potential for evil on a grand scale does exist. I've said that a million times. The potential for evil on a grand scale exists even in good people. You see what I'm saying? So these are times to arrest yourself pretty much and decide how you navigate, right? Part of that is to seek knowledge. And the knowledge you seek, as far as our conversation is concerned, I don't want to over broaden it into economics and a lot of other socioeconomic and political, conversations. But as far as parenting is concerned, right, we have a clear, evolving Gen Z. And Gen Z, I think the oldest of them will be about 26 years old now, if I get it right. And, they all studies, all researches, all surveys have concluded that Gen Z is future market, future workforce. Let's be clear. Future market, future workforce. They're going to decide the life of products, the life of companies, the legacy of companies. Within the next 30 years, you see some companies fade away, you see some stand. And part of that also is that generation will also create some key experiences. Number one, you're going to find the fading of powers and voices as we have known them. The fading of powers and voices as we have known them. And like I told you, that is why I told the young people, you don't need to agitate, just position and be ready. Because whether you like it or not, everyone you don't like in government today are leaving the scene in 30 years. It doesn't happen every time in human history, but we are having that privilege right now. In 30 years, Donald Trump will be gone. Bill Clinton will be gone. Hillary Clinton will be gone. Come on now. Think about it. Buhari will be gone. Obasanjo will be gone. These are great people. Let's be clear. I don't have a problem with anybody. But they will be gone. It's not a curse. It's not an insult. It's just the force of nature that at such a time like this, there is a cleansing going on and it's the sting of nature, right? Tinubu, Atiku, everybody's gone in 30 years, right? If they are not gone, they are humble in a corner managing their legacy, because the youngest of that will be 90, 100 and stuff like that. How many active people at 100 and something do you know? If you are 80 now, you'll be 110 in 30 years. If you are 90, you'll be 120. How many of them do you know? So that is the reality. And if that is true, what you can do is to prepare for that season. Prepare for that season, right? I always tell young people, if the people in power get out now, are you ready? So instead of trying to fight the problem, decide the problem with your readiness. Decide the problem with your preparedness. Don't fight the problem, decide it. And in this context of parenting as well, you don't fight the problem. You need to decide the problem. And shifting again to Gen Z, on the back of that is Gen Alpha. And you find that those two generations, between Gen Z and Gen Alpha, are going to essentially determine the future of the world, right? The world in 50 years will be curated by these young folks. The one that is 30, 10 years old will be 40 in 30 years' time. They are the future leaders. They are the future masters of everything. They are the future CEO, the future class teacher, the future police officer. They are the future president. They are the future everything. And it's happening real fast. Okay, so let's get that clear. What we then need to also understand is that, how do we then receive these people? How are they thinking? What kind of assumptions are important to them, right? They are wounded by technology massively. The freedom of pluralization, which is the tolerance for all ideas with non-dominant, tolerance for all ideas. Just think about all the ideas in the world shaping culture today. Pluralism will cement those ideas as additions to the human experience. So with pluralism, with secularism, with technology, or what I call privatization, which is the room for the human being to have his highest misery or his deepest bliss alone without human contact, right? Without human contact. And that is possible with technology, because in his room with his phone and data, he could do anything. He could see anything. He could catch his laugh. He could catch all his crews. He could have a beautiful time. He could destroy himself. He could see anything just on one spot. When I was much younger, and maybe when I was 10 or 15 or 16 as a teenager in the 80s, if I want to see pornography, right, it was almost impossible. If you wanted to see pornography, I've said that example many times, it was impossible to do that. It was almost impossible to do that. First of all, there was no 24-hour TV. TV starts at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So when you get back from school, whether you like it or not, you are forced to go and do chores. You are forced to go and read, do your assignment. There's nothing else to do, right? There's no TV. There are no games. There were nothing. There were no computer games. There were nothing, right? And so what do, right? So you had room to pay attention to yourself, to pay attention to the environment, to apply yourself to the experiences you are having, whether you like it or not. That is the way it pretty much works out, right, in the 80s. And, today you have 24-hour TV. Is permanent breakthrough and permanent distraction, a blessing and a curse at the same time. Nothing is better. So you look at that, and then apart from the fact that there's no 24-hour TV and you have time for other things that are more productive, then for you to even see anything at the speed of preference. In the 80s, you see what NTA is showing. If you are in Nigeria, you see what NTA is showing, right? You see what NTA is showing on TV. You don't watch things at the level of your preference. You watch things at the level of the programming of a third party, of what the NTA or the TV stations wants to show, right? And so your parents must have a video recorder, maybe Betamax or VHS, in your house for you to be able to watch anything at the speed of preference. Now, again, even if you have that, it means your parents clearly are middle class or upper class, because you just can't be around the house. Even to be middle class at that time doesn't mean you can afford that, but you will have to be middle class or upper class to have a video recorder in your house, right? And then if you have a video recorder in your house, you still have to go pay some video club and register in the video club to be able to have, videos, to be able to play, to be able to play on, to play the video in your house, right? Otherwise, no video. You can't see it, and then you are spending money each day. The video cassette is with you. You are spending money and spending money and spending money. That is reality, and so you can't get away from it. That was how life was. So life was compressed. Was a lot of intentionality was involved in that. But today, let me just fast track. A young boy wants to see anything. He just presses a button, and boom, he's seeing 1 million things he shouldn't see on the internet. Just one button, boom, and it's all gone. And so it's a different world now. When parents today say, "Oh, values are eroded," values are eroded, and stuff like that. When they say people are so sorry, I got distracted. When parents say that, oh, values are eroded and people are not acting in alliance with our known values as a people, the assumption sounds sound and wise, but it's not true. What has happened to young people today is not that they have eroded values or values are eroded. Is that kids now have more options than the kids of 1981. the kids of 1985 and the children of 1975 and the children of 1980, right, don't have the options that are available to the children of 2022 or the children of 2020. They didn't have internet, they didn't have social media, they didn't have, so I mean, you could say something to a child that is wrong in 1980 and the child may never find out until 20 years after, or maybe when he gained admission to the university, or when he's old enough to read on his own, or something like that. Today, you say anything before you even land. Young people are fact checking it on Google right away. You know, they can know that daddy is not smart. They can know mommy lies. They can know these things right away, right there on their phone, right? So it's a different world. That alone is a game changer. The idea that kids have incredible access to anything. They have the best of content available online and the worst of content that can practically destroy their life is available online. So it's not about what is available to them or what is presented to them. Future strength is now about the clarity and the discipline to interpret what is presented to them and for them to respond to it as intelligently as possible. So some things will be key. Number one is children have to learn to say no. If all you know to say in your life, even as an adult, is yes, you will be used, abused, taken for granted, cheated, and even killed if care is not taken, right? Yes is not a gift. Sorry, no, it's not a gift of nature. Yes is. Any fool can say yes. You don't need formal training to know how to say yes to things. Yes is an easy energy. It's easy to say yes, but if all you know how to say is yes, you will be fooled and suffer terrible lethality and consequences in this world. You have to learn to say no. And parents have to go out of their way to study and reach out to knowledge centers to receive the understanding on how to help their children to stand as to say no out there. No is one of the most powerful words in the life of a human being. When a life is powerless, weak, used, abused, or in jail, usually, those lives struggled with the skills required to use and transfer no around the world, around their community, around their experiences, right? People naturally find it more convenient to say yes. I mean, if somebody asks you for money that you don't have, very few people, even adults, have the boldness to say, I'm so sorry, I would have loved to give you. Don't feel embarrassed that you asked me, but I really don't have. You know, people would rather lie and say stuff like, okay, call me next week. You know you don't have it. The little money the gentleman has to manage his life is going to use it to call you, till you ignore him and wear him out of asking and all of that. You could just say you don't have, and that's it. But how many people can look at you in the face and say, I'm so sorry, I don't have? These are 40-something-year-olds, these are 50-something-year-olds, these are 60-something-year-olds, right? How much more teenagers? You can now imagine the struggle of teenagers with that word. So no matter what you do, understand that you are not training your children to be masters of your home. You are training your children for the world. Our own research have shown that parents somehow in their understanding prepare children for their own world instead of preparing children for the world. If your child masters every detail in your home, but is a weak, pie out there in society, I don't know what that would mean to you in your twilight. Then you realize that your home is not the monopoly of the universe, right? Your home is just a small, tiny, invisible, even part of the universe. And your son and your daughter will need to stand out there to win and to perform. And I remind parents every time, there's so much complexity ahead with digital currency, with artificial intelligence, alternative reality. Look at what is going on in the metaverse. Your kids are going to find themselves there. It's a different world, completely unregulated. People are living their highest freedom on the metaverse. And that is going to get more and more complex, right? And then you have the fact of, just too many things I can futurize on here. The future of social life, the future of nations, the idea that the next level of colonization will be voluntary. What does that mean for third worlders, so-called third worlders, the idea, just too many things out there that will shape the future. Attention is the most critical resource in the world today. Not gold, not uranium, not crude oil, not diamonds. The most critical resource in the world today is attention. Giving attention and getting it. Giving attention to things, to people, to your moments, and getting attention from people, from moments, from environments. Giving and getting attention is the most critical resource today. There will be programs in the future like distraction management. There will be so much going on in the world, and your children will be right in the middle of that, and most likely you will not be there to defend them. So you have to install in them some type of capacity that can help them to own their own world at that time, not just to obey you, right, but to put the world in perspective and to take their stake, in the world, right? So I always tell people that the lifespan of parenting is 18 years. Parenting is an 18-year project. Any act of parenting after 18 years is damage control. Parenting is an 18-year project. Any act of parenting after 18 years is damage control. Never forget that. Now, you are a father for life. You are a mother for life. But you are a parent for only 18 years. 18 years, guys. 18 years. And why did I choose 18? Because at 18, society says each child should be ready. Every human being should be ready for any level of responsibility, including a jail term. Because at 51, if I slap a child who is 17, they say I'm slapping a minor. If I hold on to my anger and be patient to slap him 1 year after, it's two fighting. It's no longer me slapping a minor. It's just purely two fighting, So that's what it is. And so because society expects him to be able to stand up and defend himself at that level. Now, I see parents tell me stuff like, my daughter is not ready to run an internship or to start a business or to date or to be in a relationship. My son cannot do this, cannot do that. And how old is this child? He's 18, he's 19. Really? So do you think that society is going to see your girl with puberty signs all over her and say, no, don't touch her, don't talk to her? Why? Say, our mommy said she's not ready. Is that going to happen? Will boys see your son on the street and not offer him some drugs or some ideas on socializing or even culting or cultism or drugs or whatever it is, or even just mere partying? They're not going to say your son is too young. He's 6 foot tall, he's broad-chested, he goes to the gym every day. They don't care how old he is. Even if he's 15, they don't care, right? What is coming will come. You better be ready, right? So they would not say, oh, don't talk to him. His dad said he's not ready. There's nothing like that, So your child better be ready for the whims and fancies, whims and caprices, nuances of the world, right? The nuisance value that is trapped in that. The culture will present what it wants. Your kids must be ready. And, don't tell me when parents say their kids are not ready, I understand them and I even forgive them because they are making a great mistake, but they are forgiven. But I also remind them that this is what you are saying. Let me tell you what you are not saying. What you are not saying is that you have probably failed in your responsibility to get your children ready for society by age 18. Because if your son commits a crime at 17, they don't call him a criminal even. They say he's at conflict with the law. If he commits that same crime at age 18, they call him a criminal and they send him to jail. And he will go to jail, the same jail an 80-year-old will go is where an 18-year-old will go. Because in the social justice system, there's equalization, with age. There's nothing like I'm old, I'm young. No, common law is what binds everybody together as equals. That's why you have a 64-year-old security guard and you have a 21-year-old billionaire. It's not about when they came here. It's about how they applied themselves, pretty much, So let's be clear that that level of responsibility is on you today to help the child to curate his behavior and his thinking. And when you see a child doing well at adult life, you find your child is the richest man in the world, or is the biggest CEO innovating the internet, or is some guy leading the most strongest advocacy group somewhere, and the newspapers are reporting it. CNN and Fox News and Time Magazine is talking about Man of the Year or Woman of the Year and stuff like that. He gets all the accolades. He gets all the attention alone. But there are people behind the scene who should also be credited for that. Essentially, his parents, the community he grew up in, the roles key in the people played, right? If you flip that, when a child is going to jail, when a child is in jail, he goes to jail alone. When a human being is going to the prison, he goes to prison alone. But there are so many people walking free who should go with him, because that child in prison is the representative of so many people who made the wrong decision before the child even became an adult, who exposed the child unnecessarily in the wrong environment, who did all of that. But when he's going to go alone. And those people are the real culprits who are going to walk free. And they are the adults of his life. So you get a blank check here. And there are some basic things you want to pay attention to. I will run over some of them. I've mentioned one. Children have to learn to say no. And today is not the day where I'm going to sit down here and offer you a 30-hour training or coaching on how to help the kids to say no. You can go do some research or connect to people that can help you, but children have to know how to say no. You as an adult have to learn to say no. How much more kids? Again, children are born with some natural qualities. One of them is spontaneity, and curiosity. A child is born to ask why every day, all day long, right? Your job as a parent is to preserve that quality in the child till it's age 6. Your job is to preserve that quality of curiosity and spontaneity, that sense of adventure in the child till age 6, because by age 6, research says the personality of the child is 80% formed. The job is 80% done at age 6. So let's be clear. And most of the time, we beat out that ability in the child in the name of correction. We beat it out. We punish it out of the child, because correction is not punishment. It's not punishment. And punishment is not correction. Punishment is an imbalance of nature. Any fool can punish. Punishment is the ability of the offended to offer his offender an equal experience of his misery. That is punishment. Any dummy can do that, right? But correction is a gift, is a skill, not a gift of nature, right? It's not natural to know how to correct. You have to learn and master something to know how to correct people. Otherwise, what is natural is punishment. You will punish all your life and you will not govern behavior one day, right? And research has shown, our own research has shown, that over 90% of parents never correct their children in their lifetime. They only punish. They only punish and punish all day. Over 90% of parents never correct their children in their lifetime. They only punish, right? And again, over 90% of parents, right, don't correct their children for doing what is wrong. They punish their children for doing what they don't like. So by the time you get close to them and the children begin to grow, they will see that mommy was just fussing over nothing. This thing she's shouting over is accepted in another home, is celebrated in another home. So mommy is just insecure, it's just low self-esteem. You don't want your parents to conclude by the time they are 19 or 17 that you are not smart, or that you are a fool, or that you are distracted. You don't need all of that. So you have to be fair, you have to be true. To learn and to gain understanding, to be able to offer. You can't fool kids now. Kids are smarter than you. And they have more access and more time to search, to research, to Google, to check things. They know if you are fooling around. They know. A lady who is a single parent, brings boyfriends to the home and boyfriends to the home and boyfriends to the home, and you can't do that and get away with it. Kids are learning. No matter how much you want to twist it or color it, they see, they understand, and they interpret, and they'll make conclusions about who you are, about your understanding. The only problem with that is that what you are doing becomes a program for them, hidden scripts in their own life, and they may criticize you. But if somebody does not intervene in their own thinking and in their mind, they may find the same thing they criticize in you creeping into their own lives as well. By the time they become full-blown adults running their own dynasty, right? So help children to be curious. You know, if you see kids tearing your paper or tearing your shirt, they are not just tearing, they are learning. You have to allow them to learn. They learn through disruption, they learn through destruction. They are not just spoiling things, they are gaining understanding of how things work. And you have to be tolerant and patient to allow them to learn in their environment. If you have anything so expensive you don't want kids to touch, then go and keep it in one roof or somewhere they cannot touch. Kids don't do anything wrong for touching things. You know, I remember many years ago, somebody brought a kid into a training I was having. I was the speaker and the trainer, the facilitator, and these parents brought a kid into the class, and she kept struggling with the baby and telling the baby to keep quiet, not to disturb us. So at a point, I said, no, 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 no. Let me tell you something. The mistake you have made is to bring the child here. We are the ones disturbing this child. This child is in an adult classroom. If you actually have a child who sits in a class and does not say a word for 2 hours, you have a 6-year-old child in class, he just sits down in one spot, said no word. I'm sure you'll be worried that what kind of child is this? Your kids will play, they will jump around, they will touch things, they will do all of that. If you try to stop them, you are the one disturbing them, because children must play, they must explore, they will want to audit everything. So you are disturbing the child. We are the ones disturbing the child. You are disturbing the child for putting him in an environment where he cannot express himself. So you are the one we need to fix, not the child, you know. So I insisted that, well, since you have brought the child here, we have to endure this child. So he has to play. He will disturb us. We will cope. But nobody must tell this child not to play. Nobody. So we are going to cope with the child. The child is not going to cope with us. We are the ones that are wrong for allowing the child into this environment. So we'll deal with it. You see what I'm saying? So let's be clear and let's fight for the rights of kids in this direction and give our children the capacity to really own their own out there. You see, kids who create, who give us internet, who build machines and equipment and softwares, and who create cameras and different things in the world, these are the kids that have been helped by some parents or an environment to explore their curiosity. In most societies, you punish it out of the children in the name of correction and training, you know. And some people say, well, I don't want my kids to grow up in America. Americans don't have culture. Americans don't have, heritage. Americans don't have that and that and that, yada, yada, yada. I said, fine. 99.9% of the books you read are from the Americans who don't have culture, right? All your motivational speakers, all your coaches, all your leadership gurus, everybody you read are from the same America. The people you admire, Barack Obama, John C. Maxwell, this person and that person, they are from America. From the society that doesn't cane children, that doesn't discipline children, that has no culture, that has no tradition, that has yada, 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 you know. So who would you rather be? To flog your child into conditioning that stop him from thinking and creating anything and becomes a masterful consumer in the world? Or to guide that child with understanding and help that child to see the loopholes in the world and take responsibility for building solution blueprints that address those loopholes, right? So don't forget, the American society produced all your stars, all the people you admire, that society produced them. So don't look at people shooting as the example of the American society. Look at the people thinking and creating. In that same society is where Bill Gates came out from, is where Billy Graham came out from, is where Mark Zuckerberg came out from, is where Barack Obama came out from, is where Joe Biden came out from, is where great minds and great individuals came out from, right? So it's simple mathematics. So we need to calm down. It's not by aggressiveness. It's not just by caning and flogging people around. It's intentionality and science in dealing with the complexity of the mind of the child. Again, a child is born fearless. Every child is born fearless. You want your children to own theirs in the future. See, like I said to you, it doesn't matter what is coming. If you install this strength in your children, it doesn't matter whether it's a Gen Z world, Gen Alpha world, AI world, or virtual reality world, whatever it is, whatever is in the future, they will respond. Because you've built them with the capacity to respond to anything. Like I said, what is coming will come. It's who you are that will make the difference. It's how prepared you are that will make the difference. It's how you hear. It's how you see. It's how you interpret. It's how you judge. It's how you take decisions that will make the difference. So preserve fearlessness in the child. Again, for most homes and in most societies, they beat out, they punish out that fearlessness of the child before it's age 6 in the name of correction. No child is born afraid. Every human being coming to the world is born fearless. We learn our fear, we learn our darkness. That is the truth. But as a power parent, your job is to preserve that element of fearlessness in the child as much as you can. And that starts with how you relate with the child, how you manage your own tone, your own voice, how you teach the child, how you correct the child, how you avoid double jeopardy in the house. Like you tell your child not to touch something. Don't touch this thing, is very hot. If you touch it, it will pain you. It can kill you, yada, yada, yada. You say that stuff to the child, and then the child, in his curiosity, still touched it. And now he has been burnt. And now he's crying. If I throw it out and say, how will you react to that? For most people, they will say, I told you. Most people, they can even give a knock. I told you. We will say all kinds of things to the child. But that's double jeopardy. You are punishing the child twice for the same offense. In law, you can't punish someone twice for the same offense. He has been burnt by the cooker or by the fire or shocked by the wire. Whatever it is, he has received his punishment. If you knock his head again and punch him again, or do whatever you do again, or shout on him again, or express your fear and your stress again, it's double jeopardy. Affliction shall not be said twice, they say, right? Part of that is to be calm instead, and know that once the child has received the stimulus of correction, the next thing it needs is love. So as he has touched that thing and it's now crying, and it's not crying, it's not to cane him anymore. It's to raise the game. What do? You now go to him and say, oh, sorry, you shouldn't have touched it, Bele, and get something, and love that child in that moment. You know what you are doing to that child in that moment? You are saying to the child, no matter what you do, you can come to mommy. No matter what you do, you can come to daddy. And if you don't learn to install such trust and sow such seeds of trustworthiness in the child, right, you will sadly empower him to seek such succor outside among his weak friends who need as much help as he does or as she does. Never forget that. Preserve fearlessness, preserve curiosity, right? Go out of your way to learn. Spend 1 hour online a week or 2 hours online a week. If you can't afford a coach, you can't afford a course, you can't afford to sit down with a professional to learn or to take a program, at least go on Google. 2 hours a week, 1 hour today, 1 hour next, a day after, and just learn parenting education. Just pick up something. It's not about what you learn all in a day. Just little by little. Just get better. Just get better and better in your parenting. Just get better and better. They are critical. Again, I'll speak real quick about what you owe your children. Look, listen. You owe your children the love their individuality deserve. It's a duty. It's their right to be loved. Children did not apply to come to this world. Two adults had fun with each other and brought them out. So you got to show up. Love. So you need to understand what love is. Love is eliminating fear around you. That's love. Perfect love casts fear out. Love is eliminating fear around you. When you love and your love is at its best, then people have the freedom to be themselves, to manifest the best of themselves, to even manifest the worst of themselves, but even look to you as the correction of the worst of themselves, without fear of letting you know them on their worst day, and with the freedom to let you know them on their best day and on their worst day. That's why we all go to God. That's why we go to God when we mess up or when we do well. We go to God easily without fear, because we know He loves us, because love takes away fear. So you hold your children love. And I say to people, look, if you miss anything, find time in a week to really tell your child, I love you. Magic word. And don't do it casually. Don't just say, as you are not in your tie, getting your children, I love you, and just go. No. Find time to pause. Make it an Oscar-winning moment, right? Sit down, look at the child, even though you are in a hurry, pause, just take 1 minute. Look at him in the face, eyeball to eyeball, let him blush or let her blush, and then hold her to say, son or my daughter, I love you. I love you very much. Never forget that daddy loves you very much, or mommy loves you very much. Deep hug and go. 1 minute. It goes into the soul and spirit and permeates all of the defenses of the child and rent a space deep in her solical content, preparing her for a higher level of esteem because of your promise of love. Never forget that. Then you hold your children the respect their individuality deserve. Respect. You have to learn to respect children and give them their necessary space. I always tell parents, you can't be your children's friend. They will disrespect you. They have their friends. You will be at best a friendly dad or a friendly mom, but you are a mom. You are not their friend. If you become their friend, they will embarrass you. And you will be angry and you'll be upset and you will misbehave more. Right? Give them their space and empower them for that space. I can go on, but I'll also say, I'll add one to that. There are so many things I can say, but give children the attention their individuality deserve, the love they deserve, the respect they deserve, the attention they deserve, right? Again, offer them the education you can afford. Don't be like the Joneses. Don't try to send them to the big schools and spend big money. There's no school in the world that can be the substitute for parenting education in the home. So no matter where you send them to, you have to still show up as a parent. Nobody can parent children for you, right? So it's not about sending them to expensive schools and buying expensive gifts. It's being solid and present with them in the way that we have described in this meeting and so much that we have not described, right? I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Whoa, thank you so much, sir. And that was deep, like they would say in Nigerian parlance. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, PK. It was amazing. And some of the things that PK shared here has been a very big anchor for the academy for us. And in one of the things that struck me was that we must parent for the future. And the future is 30 years from now. That's the future. And we don't have the luxury of time. I often say that time is the currency of destiny. And we do not have the luxury of time. You can't just sit down and say, oh, I know what's happening and all of that. It's a tough price to pay for not knowing. There's a tough price to pay. PK said, you pay a tough price for not knowing what you should, and you can't rewind the buttons. There is no rewind buttons. It doesn't happen. I usually say that if you don't pay the price now, you pay the price tomorrow. Either way, you are going to do the time, because there is a price to pay. And this has been an amazing session. I don't think there are questions. There are questions anywhere. It was very clear, straight to the point. And if you're looking for, PK said something, there is no one session that's going to give you everything you need. I've said that over and again as well. In parenting, you need to sit down. You heard him. He said, commit time. Sit down, learn. You cannot remove the place of knowledge. It's no longer tenable. You need to sit down and learn. And I like the last part where he said there's no school in the world that can substitute parenting for you. None. It doesn't exist. You must be there. You must pay attention. You must be there. And part of the things that you must understand is that parenting is about you. And if you're in the academy, 95% of what PK shared here will be very familiar to you. Every parent who is in the academy would be very familiar with the things that he's saying. I saw some conversations in the comment. People were saying, oh, this is becoming scary. Oh, I'm afraid. No, I said earlier that these conversations is not for fear. It's for caution. It's for you to start and begin to move. And, once you get clarity, you begin to move. PK said that earlier. Clarity is what bets, movement. It's the application of knowledge that really matters. It's not the knowledge that you acquire. We're so grateful, sir, for your time. We do not take it for granted. I am particularly blessed. I am particularly, what word am I going to use? All right. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you open this session. It's like a dream come true. And I am so grateful. I just want to say thank you. And thank you to my mentor, Taiwo Akinlami, who in his grace was able to also make this happen. I'm really grateful, sir. I do not take this for granted. Your time, everything. It was a whole wealth of knowledge, so deep to assimilate. And I'm sure that a lot of us will need to sit back on this session and listen to it again, because I don't think you assimilated in just one, shoot. There were a lot of deep things shared that you need to take in. Oh, we love you to just go on Instagram, take screenshots, rave on our speaker. You will see him on Instagram as Olakunle Shorinyo. And once you put that, please tag him, let him know that we got value from this session. That's the price you're going to pay. I told you earlier that some people have paid the price for you to be here. I am not going to say that this conference is free, because there have been a price. All right. And PK is here. A price is his time. It costs a lot to have PK to speak for 1 hour. I don't want to tell you how much it costs. Maybe if I do, maybe you guys, all of us will ride around and go and find PK where he is and start lying on the floor. But just know that an invaluable time that costs money, value, has actually been given to you. And I want you to actually make use of it and make use of it properly. And I've also said that the TIP Academy has sponsored all of this for us to be. We've used all of the currencies we have: relationship currency, money, human resources, anything to actually bring this to you. Thank you again so much, sir. And would like you to share your last words with us. And I know that you need to run.
Well, I would just say, well done, Wendy, for all that you do. Well done for your strength. Don't stop. This is not a business. These are sacred responsibilities. Society deserves these types of balance. We are the hope of the many. We have to keep working. I live in Dallas, and people think that it's just rosy once you live abroad. But as a knowledge professional, I see how people struggle in the midst of plenty. There's a jail in every country. Every country, whether it's America or London, every country has some things in common. I always say some things have no respect for persons. The prison system is in every country, in every color. White people are in jail, black people are in jail, Asians are in jail. The grave has no respect for anyone. Fools are in the grave, the wise are in the grave, the prosperous are in the grave, the poor are in the grave, the rich are in the grave. There's no seniority in the grave. There's no boss. There's no servant in the grave. The mortuary, the streets of life. There's just a humbling effect we must all have to understand that time counts. We have a very little time, no matter how long you think it is, to make the contribution that we must make in our world. And the greatest things we can do is to leave something of such intrinsic value in the life of our children and help them to own their world better. Like I say every time, when we know better, we do better. It's nothing to go out of your way to invest in education of yourself so that you can be solid for your children. It is the person that is well that can donate blood. It is the person that is well that can donate blood. No matter how honest you are, no matter how sincere you are, if you go to the hospital and offer them your blood and you are sick, they will not accept the blood, because though free, it is impossible capable of offering support at the level you want to offer it. So that wellness is capacity. I call it capacity. So develop capacity to help, to be a shoulder yourself, to be to intervene in the course of human condition, in the course of the human condition, to stand as the strength of the weak, to support the vulnerable. You have to be well emotionally and financially, and be complete in every way possible, right? So invest in that, people, and let's keep moving. To speak to fear, if you are afraid about what we are discussing, maybe you should be, maybe you should be. I'm not asking you not to be. I'm saying if you don't eat, you will die. Should that make you afraid? No. That just says go and eat. It's as simple as that. You don't get afraid and say that in itself is irresponsible. You don't become afraid. You take action, right? So the action is the medicine to fear. Is when people lack clarity and action that they abandon themselves to fear. So don't be afraid. You know, you do well, you'll be fine. God is with you, but you got to play your part. No matter how much God loves you, if you don't eat, you will die. You know, no matter how God wants to support you, how He wants to bless you, how He wants to advance you, you must eat so that He can help you. Because to help you, you must be alive. So play your part and leave the remaining to God. Finally, Wendy, I need to say this, and this is very important for those of us who believe in God. You know, there's a scripture that says that train a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it.
Amen.
Parents, I want to encourage you. The Bible said when he's old, not when he's young. When he's young, he may appear to be departing from it. Be assured. Just keep sowing your seeds. Keep sowing your seeds. Keep teaching and keep supporting and keep helping. When he's young, he can depart, but he will not depart from it. The promise is for his conduct when he's old, not when he's young. So don't be discouraged. Keep sowing the seeds, keep teaching, keep guiding. It will all pay off. It will all add up. Right? God bless you all.
Thank you so much, PK. Thank you for being here again. Thank you, sir. I am very, very honored to have you, sir. We honor you. We appreciate you. We love you. And thank you so much for all you do, sir. Look forward to meeting you in person in no time. Thank you. I really appreciate you, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Yes, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you, guys. And this is a wrap on the first session of TIP Annual Conference. And hey, we're just getting started. And already I see some people talking about fear. Trust me, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to hear. And I said earlier that 90%, if not more, of what PK shared in this session, I have shared it to the parents in the academy over and again. I'm sure the parents in the academy are here listening to me, and I'm sure that they're going to say that right in the comment section as I say this. I said it. I've spoken about distraction management. I've spoken about connecting to correct. I've spoken about punishment not being correction. I've spoken about the way we parent. I've spoken about the future. There is nothing, that has been spoken here, really, that is new to all of the people who are taking education. And one of the key pointers of what PK said here is that you must learn. The price of not learning, is tougher than the price of, the price of ignorance. So don't even sit and say, you can't rewind the word. You can't rewind it. As you're living, you cannot rewind it. It's been an amazing, session. And I like the concluding part. Say, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he grows up, when he's old. So we're talking about when a child is old. The process, it's in what you make input of. But the question will be, what will you do with the knowledge that you are getting? What will you do with the knowledge that you're getting? I remember one of those times when I shared about friendship being a tool in parenting and not a friend parent. And people said, why will you say, you heard it again today? You are not your child's friend. You are a parent. Everything you've heard today, everything has been said in the academy and performed. We've taught parents how to say no. We've taught parents how to do a lot of things. I urge you, take a leap today and begin to take your parenting seriously. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. I've said before that parenting is an 18-year project. Anything you're doing after 18 years is fire brigade approach. I've also said that your children learn to become from 0 to 6. It's proven all over the world. Anything you do after then is going to be a struggle. If you're just becoming a parent, start now. Begin to run because the race is actually really, really high. Thank you so much. And I say congratulations to you for being part of the system, for being part of this revolution and the movement. We see you again when we're going to be having Celia Kibla. We're going to be having Celia Kibla right here on our stream in the evening. All right. Celia will be coming up at 5:30 West African time. And I'm sure that you'll be prepared to receive Celia all the way from the US. Oh, yes, the Inner Circle is the parenting advantage. And if you want to join the inner circle, you want to join the academy, all you need to do is to use the link that have been pinned in the comment section, or look at the stream that is going under, and just chat the academy number, and they would give you all of the details that you need. You can take a screenshot so that you will be able to do that and begin to enjoy what we'll call the parenting advantage in parenting. Thank you so much, everybody. And share with us on your social media handle. Take screenshots. Tag Olakunle Shoriyan. That's how he is. I've shared his link, his social media handle, right on our Telegram channel. Please join our Telegram channel so you can get all of the juice, all right? We've shared it there. That's where all the information is, so that you can follow him, tag him. That's how we're going to say we are grateful. You're going to pay over $10,000 to access Olakunle Shoriyan for your information. So accessing him is a privilege. You should be grateful. And one of the ways to be grateful is just to, tag him, tag us, and say, this is what you're learning on this platform. I am, very, very grateful. And I know that by evening, we're going to have more people stream live with us. Remember, you can always catch replay using the same link that you have always used to also access this program. It's going to be available on our YouTube channel. And this program is only streaming live on our YouTube channel. Tell someone to tell another person that TIP Academy is the expectation, and that the TIP annual conference is here. 7 days, 32 coaches, one platform, and I'm your host, Wendy Ologe. I remain my humble self, your favorite parenting coach in the world. And that's your coach that you love. All right, so see you later in the day, and God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Iswekin.
And I'm Happiness Iswekin.
And we are Livon Yarders from Benin City. We joined the Inner Circle in December 2021, and it has been an awesome experience for me and my family. Last year when my wife introduced the Inner Circle to me, I actually cared less about it. I'm one of those parents who feels like you don't need anyone to teach you or coach you on how to parent a child. But she insisted, she persisted, she enrolled me for the TIP annual conference of last year, and before the end of the first session, I was already hooked. And by the end of the conference, we had registered for the Inner Circle. And I want to thank my wife for bringing me to the light of parenting. It has been a journey that has been worth the while.
When we joined the Inner Circle, I thought Coach Wendy was going to teach us how to make our child better. But one of the first things you will learn when you join the academy is that parenting is first about you. Children learn through modeling. So whatever character you want in your child, you must first possess. The knowledge we have gotten these past 8 months has been life transforming. The weekly webinars, the monthly webinars, the knowledge we get. Sometimes after a session, you just sit down for 30 minutes, your mind is still thinking about what you just heard. Seriously. It has been amazing. Seriously. The connection tools we get every day has helped us better connect with our daughter. Yeah. And family time has always been awesome.
So hurry up, join the Inner Circle today, and you will never regret it for any reason. So thank you all for your time, and we hope to see you in the yard.
Hello, my name is Chinwema Essien. I'm a wife, a mother of 3 adorable children. I'm also a professional nurse practicing in the UK and a member of the Inner Circle. I joined the Inner Circle in December 2021. That was last year. I followed the Intentional Parents Academy on Facebook for some years now, but I had always wanted to be in the Inner Circle just because, yes, that's the powerhouse of the academy. So come December, it didn't look like the right time to be in the Inner Circle because a lot was going on in my life. I had a sick son who ended up having a surgery. I had a husband whose business was going through challenges, and that was affecting him and putting a strain on our marriage. But I kept on, hung up in that group and continued to feed my mind with all that is being taught there. And trust me, it transformed me as a person. It helped me, equip me with the skills and the knowledge that I needed to navigate the trying times of my life. It's affected every area of my life, my children, my marriage. Everything we're taught in the inner circle just has a way of transforming you as a person, and then the ripple effect of transforming others around you. And trust me, it's been an awesome experience that I cannot look back. I don't have any regrets. And I speak to you out there today as a parent. If you're still asking, oh, what is it about the inner circle? The inner circle is the expectation. Coach Wendy is the expectation. You join it, and then you can speak for yourselves, because no matter how little you try to practice what is taught in that inner circle, it brings about phenomenal transformation, trust me. Things that you don't expect, things that you don't know. It has helped me to be able to read more than I do before. Thank you.